Today our B paper guide is telecom and IT infrastructure. So we will discuss about the information and communication technology, the Telecommunication Regulatory Commission, public switch telephone network, internet, IP-based services, crowd-based services, access network, backbone network, international connectivity, those things. Now, in your B paper, you don't want to know about the technology, but you should know about what is happening in the country. Now, this is mainly the ICT area. Now, we know this information and communication technology is a very important subject, and it makes a very vital role in our life. So therefore, for the socio-economic development of the country mainly depend on the ICT nowadays. Now these things, this ICT development of the country should be a policy of the country. All telecommunication and the internet-based regulations are governed by the Telecommunication Regulatory Commission, or TRC. I think you know about this one, TRC. And you can go to the trcsl.gov.lk, trcsl.gov.lk, that is their website. Then you can get a lot of information from that site. So this will be useful for your B paper. So there you can see the how many telecom operators are in Sri Lanka. When you talk about the telecom operators, there are two types: fixed line operators and the wireless operators. Fixed line and the mobile operators. Fixed line, mobile operators. Then again the fixed line operators, you have the wired fixed line and wireless fixed line. Wired and wireless fixed line. Now normal telephone which is connected through a copper cable is called a wired telephone, and telephone given from the CDMA technology is called the wireless fixed line. CDMA is a wireless fixed line. When you come to the mobile communication, it has many generations, starting from the first generation, 1G, we call 1G. Then the second generation, 2G, third generation, 3G, and the fourth generation, 4G. So nowadays we are using the 4G. Still in our network, 2G and 3G also available. So G means the generations. Now about 30 years back, 30 to 40 years back, we have only the public switch telephone network. We have public switch telephone network. So that is, we provided only the voice service. So only the information we used, the voice. But after some time, internet was introduced. Then internet-based services also came. For instance, if you want to find out any information, you go to the internet and find out the relevant website and get the information. Now these internet-based services are called the IP-based services. Internet-based means the IP-based. Initially the IP, these internet services, we have the websites, we call portals. We have the portals. The technology is the IP technology, IP-based technology. Then we access to the internet via normal telephone line, that is called dial-up connection. So we remove the telephone, connect our modem, and connect the computer and access to the internet. That is called dial-up connection. Now after some time, this speed was not sufficient. Many IP applications came. Therefore, we need more bandwidth. We need more bandwidth to exchange our information. Then through the internet, we could even send the voice. So that is called the internet voice over IP voice over IP. Then the internet is used for voice also. Earlier telephone network was used for voice. Now internet can be used for voice. After some time, through the internet, we introduced the TV also. That is called IPTV. Through the internet, IPTV. Now main three services are there: voice, normal internet, and the IPTV. It is called normal triple play. Now all these things are information. These are called information. About 30-40 years we use only voice. Now different types of informations are used, therefore we call that is information. And we are communicating the information. So this is called information and communication technology. If you use only the information, that is information technology. Now almost all the types of services now coming through the internet. Now maybe in near future your education also can be done through the internet. Your medical services can be obtained through the internet. So nowadays if you want to book if you want to get a consultant, doctor, you can do it online. So many things can be done online. So therefore the IP services or the internet based services are increasing. Now what we need is the more and more information, means more and more bandwidth. More and more bandwidth is required. Then we need the broader bandwidth, that is called broadband. We need the broader band, it is called the broadband. We need the broadband services. The people needed the broadband services. Then another important service is the cloud service. I will explain the cloud service. So when we talk about our network, it has three parts: access network part, then the backbone or the core network, and the international network. Three parts are there: access network, then the core network, and the international network. This international network is going through the submarine cables. Now Sri Lanka is connected with several submarine cables called the CMEV4, CMEV5. CMEV means Southeast Asia, Middle East, Western Europe. This submarine cable is going through that all these countries. Then we have the India, one submarine cable between India and Sri Lanka. Another submarine cable between Sri Lanka and Maldives. Likewise, few submarine cables are there. Through these submarine cables, we are getting the international connectivity. Then we have our core network or the backbone network. Example of an access network is your telephone line. For telephone to telephone exchange, you have two copper wires. That is access network. So the access network, then the core or backbone network, then we have the international network. Now to provide the better ICT services, we should have all these three networks properly: access, backbone, and the international connectivity. Now many services we are getting through the internet. So our important thing is the access network. Access network, we need the broadband connectivity. When you consider the core network or the backbone network is all are fiber, almost fiber in Sri Lanka, because fiber has more bandwidth. Now we have many operators, ICT operators, telecom operators, as well as internet service providers called ISPs. We have telecom operators as well as internet service provider ISPs. Now, any operator should get the license from the TRC, Telecom Regulatory Commission. So that means the telecom operators, when you talk about the telecom operators, two types, the fixed line operators and the mobile operator. Then the ISP operator, internet service providers operator. So now this, how many mobile operators we need to our country? If you have many operators, there will be big competition, then finally all the mobile operators can be bankrupted. So therefore the regulatory commission should control that. Another important thing is our frequency spectrum. We cannot use any frequency band for the mobile communication. We have given frequency spectrum, international recognized frequency spectrum for the particular technology. Then frequency band or the frequency spectrum also a resource to a particular country. For any country, frequency spectrum is a very important resource. Who will govern this resource? Again, the regulatory commission. When you say the 2G mobile, 3G mobile, 4G mobile, all these things you need some frequency band of the frequency spectrum. So that any country, this management of the frequency spectrum also a very important thing. Then the international connectivity. Nowadays only Sri Lanka Telecom is having the international connectivity. In near future, Dialog also going to have their international connectivity. So we have to invest a considerable amount of money for this one, but we have to have a plan that how much bandwidth, international bandwidth we required for the next year, then the following year, for the next 5 years. We have to plan accordingly. These plans depend on the country's corporate plan and the country development plans. So accordingly, we have to reserve the bandwidth requirement, international bandwidth requirement for us. So that also should be governed by the Telecom Regulatory Commission. So access technologies, this is the most important part of the network for customer point of view, the access network part. So we have the wired access technology called the ADSL, asynchronous digital subscriber line. So ADSL has very large bandwidth, several megabit per second bandwidth is there in the ADSL system. But ADSL problem is it's going through the copper wire. When the distance is increasing, the given bandwidth is decreasing. So that problem is there. Therefore, when connectivity from telecom, they say if you are more than 5 kilometers away, you cannot get the internet. Now that is no problem because the telecom network maximum distance is 4 kilometers in the access network. But if you want the IPTV, you need more bandwidth. You can get only for about 3 kilometers distance. So if you are away from the 3 kilometers, they say cannot provide. Now when you go to the high definition TV, it is coming now, so it needs more bandwidth. Then it can be given for only about 1 kilometer distance. Then what will happen? There is a limitation in the ADSL. But more and more applications are coming, so we need more and more bandwidth. Then the only possible solution for this one is the FTTH, or the fiber to the home. This technology is called fiber to the home. Now the FTTH technology is provided by Sri Lanka Telecom only at the moment. So if you have a fiber connected to the home, you can have 100 megabit per second speed also. Normal ADSL you can get about 1 megabit per second. When you have the fiber, you can get 100 megabit per second. Even 1000 megabit per second is possible. Therefore, once you get the FTTH connection to your home, is sufficient for another 10 to 15 years required bandwidth. That is the fixed line wired connectivity, the broadband wireless connectivity. So these technologies are called broadband because it has wider bandwidth, broader bandwidth. the ADSL, FTTH. Now who will decide these technologies are required? Again, the regulatory commission should give the direction to the operators. These are the government plans. You have to go to these technologies by these days. Normally, the operators are going for those technologies, but if the telecom regulatory commission can give the guidance, that will be better. Then they can say, okay, this operator can mainly look after this area. This operator can this area. That kind of things also can be proposed. But in the open competition, we cannot restrict, but they can say, okay, if you develop this particular area, rural area, you will be exempted from the tax this much of amount, or we will reimburse your tax again this much of amount. That kind of policies can be imposed. So when the wireless technology, fixed wireless, we have the CDMA, then the 2G, 3G, 4G. We have the 2G, that technology, the 3G technology, HSDPA, then the 4G technology, LTE, or it's called the long-term evolution. So what are the differences in these technologies? The 1G technology, first generation, could provide only the voice. When it came to the 2G, in the 1G you have to buy the phone also from the operator. When it came to the 2G, you can buy the phone from the shop, you can get the SIM from the operator and you can fix it. So 2G early stage was only voice. Then you can go to the digital things, SMS. Then you can go to the internet also. Then it comes to the 3G, OLA IP based. When it comes to the 4G, IP based high speed or the broadband. Now along with these things, since the high speed connectivity can be obtained, then the smart concepts came. Therefore smart devices came. So you have the smart telephone, smart tabs, like that, smart devices are there. From these devices you can do the multiple jobs, multiple things you can do. You can use the voice communication, you can use the TV, you can use the internet. All these things can be done from this technology. Then the smart country. Now I will explain about this cloud computing or the cloud services. Now about 25 to 30 years ago, we didn't have the personal computers. We had very large computers, we call the mainframe computers. Mainframe computers are connected to the terminal, we are working from the terminal. After that, these processing powers increased and the personal computer concept came. When it came, this concept, then we can buy a PC, but after about 3-4 years we have to replace this one with a new one because the new processors, new software is coming. Then again you have to pay the license for these softwares, and the different versions are coming. You have to pay and give the license. When you come to a company, to maintain an IT system, they have to have their servers. To maintain the servers, they have to have the system administrators. They have to have the database administrators. Again, the different licenses, lot of cost involved in this operation. Because of this, the new technology, the cloud-based services. In the cloud-based services, everything is in a remote place where you cannot physically see this is the one. So maybe it's thousands of servers. So in different countries maybe, but it is coming as a one unit. So that is called the cloud. So now almost all services are provided by the cloud. For instance, say the Microsoft Word. Earlier we wanted the Word we have to get a separate license. Now the cloud-based license is there, it is very low cost. Now instead of we are buying computers, now we have the very low-end terminal, and your computer is in the cloud. That is called the virtual computing. It is called the virtual computing. So you have to pay some rent to your virtual computer, monthly rent. So then what are the advantages? You don't want to change the hardware from time to time. The cloud has the latest technology and the latest versions. So you don't want to by change the hardware as well as the software. You have to pay some monthly rental only. So because of this technology, now the whole world is changing, the cost is coming down, therefore many applications are coming. Many digital applications are coming. So these are called the digital or smart. We have the smart home, smart education, smart health, and the many smart things. Now this slide shows different smart techniques. Now you can see the smart governance and smart education, smart healthcare, smart building, smart mobility, smart infrastructure, smart technology, smart energy, and smart citizen. Now when you consider the smart health, we know in very remote areas we don't have the specialized doctors. If you want to get the service from the specialized doctor, you are in a remote area, you will be connected to the consultant through the internet. Then the sensor devices or the measuring devices are in the remote areas. So maybe a nurse will check these things, and this information can be seen by the remote place consultant. Then he will diagnose the problem and he will give the medicine. So this is a very simple example I told you. Slightly through the smart health, lot of improvements can be done in our society, and also the low cost solutions can be given. And there are some devices called the wearables. Now through these wearables we can measure so many things. For instance, our blood pressure and maybe our sugar level, those things. Now they are constantly measuring our blood pressure. So it can go to a particular database, and the blood pressure level goes up the threshold. You will get an alarm, or you will get SMS, you will get an email. That kind of things can be happen. And your doctor may see the change of your pressure, and he will advise you if there is abnormal changes. So so many things are coming with this smart concept. When you go to smart building, it is little beyond the building management system. So many smart sensor devices are there. Through these things we can monitor many things and we can take the decisions accordingly. Now the building management system is little bit low level of this one, but the smart building, there are so many things. Then the smart mobility, smart infrastructure, smart technology. So likewise many smart areas are there. Now all these things, what we need? We need a computer. That computer can be even your smartphone, or it can be a tab, or it can be iPad. Then you need the connectivity. You need the broadband connectivity. How you can give the connectivity? Now with the wired connectivity is very difficult to handle. Always you have to connect your device to the wired connection. But if you have the limited mobility, it is very much easy to use. So normally what the operators can do is they can come with the FTTH or ADSL to a particular location. Then from that location they can give a limited wireless connectivity to the user. So that is called the Wi-Fi. Now we know ADSL service is given through a Wi-Fi router. The router has the Wi-Fi connectivity. So therefore when you come home, your smartphone can be connected to your ADSL through the Wi-Fi. Then you can go to the internet and the cost is very low. So therefore this Wi-Fi plays a very important role. Then this broadband access network, Wi-Fi and the cloud services. These three are very important aspects of our life now. So through the cloud you can get many services. Then through the Wi-Fi your devices can be connected. So therefore within the next 5 years you will get the Wi-Fi connectivity everywhere. Even the government policies is to give free Wi-Fi service to the citizens. So if you have the Wi-Fi connected everywhere, you can do many things through this, especially the cloud-based services. So now normally now we have the Wi-Fi connectivity at home only. Now the public Wi-Fi zones are coming. Public Wi-Fi zones are coming. In the developed countries, normally when the people are going to a restaurant or somewhere, they go to the restaurant if they have the Wi-Fi connectivity only, because always you need the connectivity. So nowadays the connectivity is a very important thing. Now, national broadband policy. Now the government is going very fast to the ICT technologies, because through the ICT we can develop the country very fast. Now we have a solution from the ICT for any area. Now you consider the medicine or the health. 90% of the work of the doctors are doing by the ICT. 90% of the work is doing by the ICT. When you consider surgery, the engineers are doing the 90% of the work there. So the ICT involved in there. Now they say the government institutes symmetric connection about 25 megabit per second is needed. Government institute means Pradeshia Sabha, those institutions, they need about 25 megabit per second speed symmetric. Symmetric means the uplink and downlink both. Normally if you go to internet, you need a wider bandwidth for downlink. So that is asymmetric. That's why ADSL means the asymmetric digital subscriber line. There you need a wider bandwidth in the downlink. So here they need they need 25 megabit per second symmetric bandwidth. Why? What is the use of giving this service to the government agencies? Now consider pension department. I think a very efficient one now. Earlier, people should wait for several years to get the pension. Now, I think they are doing it very fast. EPF. So once you retire, even you get the SMS from the EPF department that your EPF is ready or it is in this particular stage. So then you can see the government institutions can do a better service to the citizens. So they don't want to come to there from time to time check those things. So when they are doing some work, it may be have some process and it should go to several steps. So if you can get the message from there that now this is in this place and after that it is in this place now. Now when you apply visa also you are getting like that, no? Now we send your documents to this place and then they say we are processing, and after that they say you can collect your document. So likewise our government institution also can do that kind of service. So to do that one they need about 25 megabit per second symmetric connectivity. Then the school computer lab, government is giving the high priority to that one. They need 100 megabit per second connectivity is required for the school computer labs. So education may be transformed to a big way in near future, maybe next 4 to 5 years, because our education system is very traditional, maybe obsolete. So to do the modern communication, we have to go to the smart education, where we have to give very high bandwidth to the schools. Now in future, from your tab, you can see what is your child is doing at the school, whether they have done the assignment. If they have done the assignment, what are the shortcomings of these things? These things you can check online. So to do all these things, the schools also need very large bandwidth, about 100 megabit per second. Then the hospital labs. So they will have the IP enabled equipment and they need about 25 megabit per second connection. So when you have the IP based devices, now for instance say the X-ray, now in very near future X-ray will be obsolete. So you will get these pictures in a screen, and not only the 2D, you will get the 3D pictures there. So in the different angles, all these things are coming, and if you are in the remote area, these devices come very gradually. It is coming very low level now. Then our remote area, these devices can be fixed. This information can be sent to the doctor, and he can see these things in different angles, and based on that, he can take the decision. So hospitals need this much of bandwidth. And who will provide this service? The internet service providers should provide the service. Now, to provide the service, affordable price to the citizens, their cost also should go down. Then the Telecom Regulatory Commission introduced the National Backbone Network. They introduced the National Backbone Network, where cost for the core network or the backbone network is very reasonable now. So actually it is provided by now Sri Lanka Telecom, and the other operators should use this national backbone network as much as possible. From that way they can reduce the cost. Now your B paper point of view, what are the important things to you? Now, by using the ICT, we can develop the socio-economic of the country. We can develop the socio-economic of the country. Then we should have some idea what kind of services we can do. Even our jobs. If we use the IT as a tool, and if we use the ICT technology, so it will be very easy. But unfortunately in Sri Lanka, very few people are using ICT as a tool. Now I can give a practical example. If you are doing the lectures if assignment is given, we can go to the Google Drive and upload our assignment. Then we can collaborate, the teacher and the student can collaborate that way. And similarly, the two engineers are doing the design, they can share this document and do the collaborative these things. So then you don't want to send the hard copies of these things here and there, then we can effectively use these things. Now our jobs, do we need to come to the office every day? When you consider the job, some work you can do at home, then why we want to come to the office? So in USA, most of the officers, you can work at home for 2 days per week. So what are the advantages of that one? Then it is a solution for the transport problem. And your productivity also increase. What you need to that time? You need the internet connectivity, and your company should use the ICT. So by this way we can increase the productivity, and we can give the solution for many problems in our country, in our transport problem. So why this big traffic congestion in Colombo? We are coming to the Colombo for everything. But if we decentralize the work, so many work can be done from the outstation. But if we use the ICT, your information is in centrally, and the regional officers can work just like they are working in Colombo. Now although our works are decentralized, so they are physically decentralized. Some headquarters. But if you use the ICT technology, you can centralize this work, this information, and we can work from any place. Now, when you are doing these things, the government has very important role to play. they have to take the policy decisions correctly. They have to take the policy decisions correctly. Therefore, this Telecommunication Regulatory Commission has a vital role to play. Now, for instance, our frequency spectrum is a very important resource. That frequency spectrum should be managed in effective and efficient manner. Then only people can get maximum our frequency spectrum. Then the internet connectivity. So they can govern the cost of the internet connectivity. If the internet connectivity cost is low, then the people may use more and more internet connectivity. If they use the internet for their normal work, then the cost goes down and the productivity increases. How they can reduce the internet connectivity? They have to go to the appropriate technology. Now, for instance, the fiber to the home technology is appropriate technology for the next 10 to 15 years. Then they have to push the operators to go to these technologies. In international connectivity also, they have to plan properly. And the local backbone network, just like the national backbone concept, they have to introduce these things. So although we provide all these technologies, if the people do not use these things, then no use for that. In our country, everything is modern, but our thinking pattern is still very old. So the government should try to change these things gradually. To do these things, the ICT should be introduced gradually to all the areas of the country. Then only people get used to that. We have to make so I can give a practical example called there's a very remote village in Monaragal area called Hingurukadu. You may sometimes know about that term. There is no mobile phones there because no mobile connectivity, no CDMA, no telephones. Only connectivity they can get from the satellite. But there is one place called the Lakkaruna. So from that one, they are teaching the ICT to the students, and they are now Sri Lanka Telecom is planned to give a full-fledged fiber network to this village. If you provide that kind of connectivity to that village, obviously their education level increase, and we can introduce the smart health or the digital health to that area. Then their health level also increase, and likewise many things can be done if we are given the connectivity. So what are the government's plans? Now you can see the ICT policy, the broadband policy was this much. So along with these things, the government is expected to use the. So these are some ideas to you, and I would like to answer if you have any questions on these areas. That will be more useful, I think. Any question from this? It is better to interact. Now this B paper, what we are expecting. So you may be asked how the ICT can be used for what are the things we have to do to ICT development of the country. So if I ask, what is your answer, you say? As an engineer, we have to see this one. You develop the country through ICT. What kind of actions we have to take as the engineers? If I ask that question. You can address all the areas. Yeah. What else? Okay, now one thing is the TRC should play a role with the operators. They should know what is the government plan, and accordingly the policies should be drafted. The policies are very important. Now, for instance, if you are paying a very high tax for the ICT equipment, say the computers, the people are not using that. So then the policy level, some correct decision should be taken. And when you implement in the network, the BOI concessions like that, tax concession should be given. Then only the operators are to all the area. Then the Wi-Fi, this wireless connectivity should be obtained, and the government should insist all the areas to use this ICT as much as possible. So the education area, you don't know much cost. Now they say the content development. Although you have the connectivity and everything is there, if there are no content, no use. So these things also should go along with these things. Now our education, if you have very good content, you don't want to even go to the tuition classes, because when you are teaching now, we can use the animation. How many things can be used? So if you have the proper content and the good connectivity, you can use these things. So therefore you have to address all these areas. So for the ICT development, you need the ICT infrastructure, then you need the content. You should be able to access to this content, and our processors should be changed accordingly. You have the ICT, but if you are using the old processors, still we will be slow. So this business process re-engineering should also to be done at the same time. So when one example, I implemented the many IT systems in Sri Lanka Telecom. One is the HR system. Our system was completely manual. So then when we going to introduce the HR system, then we found that the different places, different officers, they are practicing different rules and regulations. For instance, the half day. We have the different time slots, 8:30 to 5:30, then the 9 to 6, like that, different time. The half day or defined differently. But when you are doing the computerization, it's the correct thing. Then some uniformity and the consistency also coming along with the IT systems. Next thing is, when the people apply a loan, distress loan, say, those days they have to wait several weeks, but along with this system, earlier for each and every loan there is a voucher and 2-3 pages, and they have to about 3-4 pages are there for one loan. Then I told them, why you need this much of papers? You can have one page, in one page, one line. Then they told, no, we can't do that, because the auditors are, the auditors question us. It will be a problem. Then I had a meeting in the auditors also, and I explained them, this is how this system is working, this is what I am proposing. Then they 90% accepted what our team proposed, IT team. They did only a slight changes to that. Then we implemented it. Now instead of that one, now the one sheet is coming, one line each, and that is approved. Then the next step, then each and every person was issued a check for their loan. the loan. Next step, what we did, we connected the finance system and the HR system. Then this loan is going to the HR system. Then they are sent in that loan amount to the bank. They credited to the bank. And later on, we gave the online connectivity also to the bank. Then within about 3 days, they are getting, the money is going to their account. So you can see how much efficient is that. Then that is, we have done the business process re-engineering. So along with these things, this re-engineering also very important. Then we connected all the officers. Difference between the internet and the intranet is, internet is a public network, intranet is a private network. So the public cannot access to your network. So all branches are connected, and we gave our intranet was there. Then we introduced the email. That is about 15 years back. In Sri Lanka, only very few people used the email those days. So now problem was the people did not know about how to use the computers even those days. Then we gave a very good training to each and every person. So along with all these things, people get used to use the IT. Then we have the typing pool those days. Then we closed that one and we gave the printer and PC for each section. Then they use the Word and Excel, and they later on find out this is very easy. It's about 15 years back. Then people are using these things. So because of that, most of the works became very, very easy to us. So we have to introduce the IT, then along with that one we have to do the business process re-engineering. Now the connectivity also there, cloud-based systems are there, then we can do these things. We need to have a proper infrastructure in the country. So we should have the connectivity at everywhere. When you go to anywhere, you have to have the connectivity. Then you don't feel that you are physically in different places. You are contactable. Then you have the freedom to work. You don't have to go to the office every day. So you are contactable, and your subordinates or your supervisors can communicate with you very easily. Along with these things, our things are getting very fast. Now those days, when a PN, we give type a letter and give to the PN, he will bring to another person and he will endorse those things. Come to the immediately you get the reply even from another country. So that is the power of the ICT. So nowadays you have a tool to everything. Now there are many cloud-based software nowadays. One example is, you can go and see the gravo.com, Gravo. So Gravo is a software. You can do the learning as well as you can train the people. In your training department, suppose you have 1,000 employees in the company, you want to give a training to everybody. Nowadays, very long time you need to do this training. The training program, and you can have videos, animations, the text, all things can be loaded there, and you can give the access to those who want to get the training. Then you can have a question paper also there. So then you can see how many people studied these things, how many hours they studied these things, and what is their final marks. All these things can be online, you can take it. Now you can see how easy those things. Similarly, your finance systems, you can have the dashboards, you can easily get all this information immediately. So if you use the technology properly, nowadays You have to find out what is the tool for this one. There are cloud-based tools for everything. So therefore, we need the smart devices to work. We need the connectivity, and we need the cloud-based cloud-based applications. So that will make easy our life. So government is heading to that area now. You can see our country's ICT level is very high, but still our engineers are not using those things very effective manner. So any job, you have the ICT tools. If you use these ICT tools, it okay. Okay. Now questions and answers.
When you connect everything using clouds, how about the privacy?
Yeah. When you go,
Is there any policy in government to protect our privacy?
when you go to the cloud base, the governance and the security is the important things. So in the large organizations, we have the information security policies. So these things also should come along with these new technologies. So it's not the government should have some policies, and the institution wise also should have some policies on the security wise. World standards. So for instance, for the information security, you have the ISO 27001 standard. So if you work on these standards, then you can easily get the security and the governance. It's a good question. The cloud is sharing one. These things can be.
Surface in the internet, when we search something related to our area, I think the Google monitors everything, and they are giving support. They are publishing advertisement based on our searches. So
Yeah.
it's a violation of our privacy.
You are getting. You can get the whatever the service you need. So if you go to pay the free services, sometimes you accept something, no? When you accepting, all these things are legally there. But there are services you can pay and get it. So even the Google or the Dropbox, all these things, the corporates, they have the different packages. So there you can use without these problems. Okay.
They're using cloud as a servers for the assurance maintenance.
Now, when we are maintaining your systems, the disaster recovery systems. So, if any disaster happens in this area, the disaster recovery systems will take over this. So, it's a huge cost. When you go to the cloud, they will maintain all these things. Disaster recovery, backup systems, all these things are maintained by them. And you can get your backup of your data also. Maybe to Excel sheet or something like that, you can keep it backup. Suppose the next year you want to go to a different cloud-based system. No, the same application, you have better one, you can change to that one easily. All these things are there. So another one is the Basecamp. Basecamp is a project-based software. Council meeting once a month. In normal meetings, what happened? We discuss something, and you will get the minutes of one day before the next meeting. Normally, that's happening in the many things. Then we will come the next month also. We will go through the minutes, confirm the minutes again. We are discussing the same thing. The productivity is very less. But if we can collaboratively discuss some questions, some problems, and come to some consensus, if the council will take only the decisions, maybe within 1 hour we can finish the meeting, and also we can spend much time for the policy-wise decisions. So this Basecamp, Yeah, you can collaboratively work many things with that one. Yeah, can have the discussions. When you have the discussion, suppose you have a good document, it is very useful. You can share that document there. And if you are meeting, your minutes also can be put into there. You have something called to-do list. To-do list. You can assign somebody to do some work. Okay, you have to finish this work by this date. So then he will see that one, he will complete that job and he will clear his to-do list. And likewise, many features are there. Then we can effectively use these things. Nowadays, our time is the very important thing. If you can go to this the morning, if you can go through whatever done the others, then if you can give your comments or you contribute those things, that is easy. So if you work in the virtual environment, your time also can be used very effectively. So these technologies give those features to you. Okay. Any other question? Have you got some idea from this one? So as engineers, we should be the leaders, technology leaders. So actually now the ISL is planning to give many technologies to you. So now we have very good communication with the ISL. All the important messages there you will get the details. So many things, and you have the forums there. You can go to the forums and you can have many discussions. Now about 1 week back, I have created one forum called the Software Defined Networks. Then all telecom engineers, IT engineers, they can contribute to that. So discussions can be arranged. So if you have one problem in the council or the ISL headquarters, you can say, okay, we have this problem. I am proposing to do this thing. So use these tools. These tools are very effective. Okay. You can close the session, but after this session also I will wait for some time, and if you have any question you can come and ask me. Okay, thank you very much.